Today we are doing something crazy. We are going to be swapping our ambient lights in our door handles and up here in our map lights to any color you want. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So I actually learned how to do this on my old second gen way back in 2019. There was one tutorial that I dug super deep in the web and I had to translate it and I couldn't understand it, but I figured it out. So that being said, I think I'm like the only one that for some reason knows how to do this. What we're doing today is only going to work on the 2010 to 2013 Mazda 3 GT and the MazdaSpeed 3. Only the ones with the ambient lighting in the door. For today's project, you're going to need a mini or little solder iron, probably some flux paste, a little bit of solder, and you're gonna need these bulbs. These are 3 and 5 millimeter bulbs. I got the multi-kit that has different colors. You don't have to do white, you can do red, blue, which you already have, yellow, or green, but you will need the 3 mil. Now, if you guys watch today's video and you're like, man, I don't wanna do that, that looks too difficult, let me know if you'd be interested in buying that I pre-make so you can just unplug and plug it into your own car and not have to do all this soldering and stuff. I'll leave a comment down below and start a thread because I want to see how much interest. Other than that, it's actually really easy and you shouldn't have any problems. Let's go ahead and get started. So in the second gen Mazda 3, this one is most notably the brightest and kind of lights up this area, and obviously these ones just kind of light up the door handle. I've already swapped this one to white. I'm going to be doing them in white today. Go ahead and grab a trim popping tool of your favor, and we just need to take off this silver piece right here. Pop it out gently. That was not necessary. This is also a perfect time to wrap these if you would like. This is our little bulb. There's just a little tab right here that you have to kind of just move out of the way. Just pop that right out. And you can also take your trim popping tool, push this in, pull that out, and this is what we want. So go ahead and grab something relatively thin. We're gonna start by taking off rubber cover. You just leave that to the side. You can see that our bulb is right in there. Flat, very thin piece of screwdriver or whatever you have, and you get a wedge in here. Then once you've gotten your flathead or whatever in there, you can just kind of wiggle it around and then just pop this out. And then here's kind of like our board, I guess you would say. So your bulb sits in there, obviously. And then the 2 prongs that come off the bulb are right here where my thumb is. I have it set up on my vise here. We need to kind of like break them off. I'll show you what I do. I take my needle nose pliers and I like to kind of like squish them together. Normally that's enough to break both of them off their little solder. So if I just kind of pry them, you can kind of push it out and then grab something that you can grab the bulb with on the other end. There you go. Our bulb is out. There is the old one. As you can see, it is blue. If you take a look at this, you can see now we have 2 open boards that we can solder our new light onto. For this specific light, we are going to be using the 3 millimeter bulb. Now you do need to pay attention as the prongs are different sizes, and this will actually matter if it turns on or not, as I believe it's considered polarity specific. So in testing, this longer prong always goes to the bottom one, if that makes sense. Both sides, it always goes, the longer one will always go in this rotation, but you can always plug it in and just put this up to it and just test it out, just to double check. It should go like this. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. If you don't want to solder, that's fine. You can push this in and clip them enough and wrap them around those prongs, but I want to do this the proper way. So I'm gonna put our bulb in all the way and mark. I'm gonna mark with a Sharpie where I need to cut it, because if they stick out too far, they won't go back in that purple piece. Now, as you guys can see, we have both of these now on the boards. Now we need to solder. Okay, to make things even more complicated, I'm gonna take a finger and hold that bulb in, and then I'm going to lay down a very light solder here. You guys can see those 2 are now soldered. Obviously, you want to make sure they aren't connected, but that is good and on those boards. So we can now take these 2, put these back together. This just goes in. Like I said, if you solder that out too much, then it will kind of block off, but this is good. Pop that on, pop this on. I would definitely test it before you put this all back together, but that is what it will look like when it's done. So when we come to the car, we can just plug this right in, and as you guys can see, so let me just turn the lights on real quick. you guys can see the lights are on and they work with all the functions as they did before. So we can go ahead, just run the wire back into the door, turn this around, this piece as well, turn the lights on, and boom, sweet new ambient lighting in the doors. Now we need to tackle this part, and this part's a little bit more tricky, so hold your horses and let's get this done. So to pop out these ones, let's go ahead and take these light covers off. Just need to remove this portion, and then underneath there's some tabs here that kind of hold this thing in, so make sure that these tabs, can't show you accurately, but as long as these tabs are kind of pushed, you should be kind of able to are you guys hearing this right now? I'm breaking everything. This is crazy. Wow, that was complicated. Unplug this big piece right here, and then now we can go play with this. So as you can see, here's our panel and then our lights right here, which is just held in by this little black piece. Mine was actually kind of a little weird here and kind of pulled out already, but it looks like it kind of just pops under these little plastic bits. So this. We can unplug this off. As you guys can see, that's our little bulb on there. And then we have our 2 solder points, which we'll have to solder back on. So the positive side of the bulb will go on this side. So long side on this side and short side on this side. So you should just be able to use the solder that's already kind of here and just wrap it around those things again. I do need to trim these prongs. As long as they're trimmed just enough, because this board does sit angled in here anyway, we can just pop this on and there you guys have that. In order to put this in, I believe it's just kind of like this, and then much better. With that being said, we can now actually just go put this back in the car. That was a lot better than I thought. So we will want to plug that back in. Make sure your light is also plugged back in. This is what it should look like with everything plugged back in. And with that being said, we should just be able to kind of everything back up into place. Lights still work. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn my lights on. As you can see, our little ambient light is on, which means all of these are now complete. And then we pop our lights back on. So again, we're gonna turn our lights on. And as you can see, our white ambient lights, boom, boom, another boom. Ambient light interior and the speed is now complete. It's gonna be dark out. Let's go film. Fast forward a couple hours later, it is dark out. So you can see, now we have our white glow. You see, we also have our white, it kind of looks blue just because of the color correction. You guys can see on the doors, the glow in the middle. We have successfully done our ambient lighting in our Mazda 3, MazdaSpeed 3. It's pretty hard to show it just because it's such a dim light, but it's also not super dark out, but you guys get the idea. Just replace your blue ones with the white ones, and that's what it will look like in your car. And with that being said, that's the video for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, comment down below if this helped out at all, and let me know if you guys want me to sell these if you don't want to do that job yourself. I'd be able to do them in the red, green, and obviously the white. Other than that, guys, thank you so much, bro. I'll see y'all in the next one.